What's up, football fans? Buckle up, because there's a lot going down as we edge closer to the 2025 NFL Draft. Things are starting to heat up, and for Philadelphia Eagles fans, the latest developments might sting a little if they come true. Word on the street is that Penn State's edge rusher, Abdul Carter, could end up being selected by none other than the New York Giants. Yeah, you heard that right. Carter, who just happens to be one of the most dominant defenders in this year's class and a lifelong Eagles fan, might be wearing blue and white instead of midnight green. This whole thing kicked off earlier in April when Carter reportedly had breakfast with the Giants' head coach out in State College. That's not just a casual coffee meetup, folks. That's business. And now, there's even more fuel to the fire. Carter is scheduled to visit the Giants' facility in New Jersey later this week. All signs are pointing in one direction. New York is seriously interested. And if everything unfolds the way it's looking, Carter might be off the board within the top 3 picks. That's bad news for Philly, and we'll get into why. Let's take a look at how those top 3 picks might shake out. Right now, it feels like the Tennessee Titans are zeroing in on Cam Ward with that first overall selection. Tennessee already brought in Brandon Allen this offseason, which gives them a bit of insurance under center. But let's be honest, Allen's not the long-term answer. They've made some nice moves to shore up the offensive line. They got a solid defense. And they're being led by a head coach who comes from an offensive-minded background, with ties to the Zach Taylor coaching tree. It all lines up for a quarterback pick, and Ward has been turning heads throughout the pre-draft process. He's looked sharp in workouts and has that natural playmaker vibe. It's not exactly a well-kept secret. The Titans like him a lot. Assuming that happens, then things get really interesting with pick number 2. That's where Cleveland enters the chat. There's been a lot of buzz, and I mean a lot, about Travis Hunter. We're talking about a true two-way phenom. He can line up at corner, he can line up at wide receiver, and he's elite at both. But for what I'm hearing, Cleveland might be leaning toward using him primarily as a receiver. That makes sense when you consider what that team needs. He'd instantly become one of the most electric weapons on the roster. But here's the thing. At the pro level, playing both sides of the ball every week is brutal. It takes a toll on the body. So even if he's capable, he's going to need a carefully managed snap count. You got to protect a guy like that if you want him to have a long, productive career. That said, he would give the Browns a real identity boost, a face of the franchise, someone who can sell jerseys and win games. Now, if that all plays out the way we think, that leaves pick number 3 wide open for the Giants. And who's sitting there as the best defensive player in the draft? Abdul Carter. From a pure talent standpoint, he's right up there with anyone in this class. And if the Giants decide to go with the best player available, regardless of position, then it makes all the sense in the world to grab Carter. That's where things get dicey for the Eagles. See, Carter isn't just another draft prospect. He's one of their own. Born and raised in Philly, went to high school at La Salle, played his college ball at Penn State, and has been repping the Eagles since day one. He's not just a fan. This guy lived and breathed Eagles football. He even took his dad down to New Orleans to watch them win at the Superdome, calling it a dream come true. And now that dream might end with him chasing Jalen Hurts around twice a year in a Giants uniform. That would be a nightmare for the Eagles on so many levels. First, because Carter is just flat out good. He's not the kind of player you want to see in your division, especially not on a team that already has a scary defensive front. The Giants are no joke when it comes to building through the trenches, and we all know that's how you win in this league. Look at what the Eagles did in their Super Bowl run. No gimmicks, no tricks, just a relentless front four bringing pressure and dominating the line of scrimmage. That's the formula. And now imagine the Giants adding Carter to a group that already includes some top-tier talent on the defensive line. That could quickly turn into one of the nastiest pass rushing units in the league. Let's take it back to Super Bowl 59 for a second. You want to know how Philly won that game? No blitzes. Not a single one. Just 4 guys up front getting after it and making life miserable for the opposing quarterback. They racked up 25 pressures without sending extra heat. That's insane. They did it with names like Graham, Carter, Davis, Smith, Hunt, Alma, and Williams, a deep, rotating unit that never let up. And it worked. The opposing quarterback looked rattled, uncomfortable, and eventually cracked under the pressure. 2 picks, one fumble, and a whole lot of frustrated body language. That's what a dominant defensive line can do. And that's exactly what the Giants could be building right now. But here's the thing. While the Eagles had that level of success, there are some real question marks heading into this season. The moves they made in the offseason haven't exactly inspired confidence. Yes, they spent money, brought in talent, but some of those deals feel like overpays. And let's be honest, when you don't have a rock-solid quarterback situation, everything else becomes harder. Right now, Philly doesn't have that surefire guy under center, and that's going to make the road tougher. So yeah, the defense still matters. A lot. If there's one proven way to stay competitive while you figure things out at quarterback, it's with a nasty defensive line. That's why missing out on Abdul Carter, especially if he lands in the NFC East, would be such a bitter pill to swallow. Carter, for his part, looks every bit like a future star. He's got the size, the speed, the bend, all the tools you want in a premier edge rusher. We're talking about 6'3", 252 pounds of raw athleticism. There are some durability concerns, sure. He sat out the combine and his pro day because of lingering foot and shoulder issues. But when he's healthy, he's a force. The tape doesn't lie. Last season alone, he racked up 12 sacks and 43 pressures, earning a sky-high Pro Football Focus grade of 91.2. That's elite-level production, even while nursing that shoulder injury during the playoffs. And he still managed to create chaos on every snap, constantly disrupting plays and getting into the backfield. Carter isn't just a guy who racks up empty stats. He's a game wrecker. He's the kind of player who can flip momentum in a heartbeat. Forced fumbles, batted passes, timely sacks, he does it all. Across his college career, he played in 42 games and totaled over 100 pressures. That's nearly a sack every other game. Those are not normal numbers. That's special. And that's why his name keeps climbing draft boards. And look, when you start stacking up the numbers from his college career, it becomes even clearer why teams are circling his name in red ink. Across multiple seasons, even in years when he wasn't a full-time edge rusher, Carter posted production that jumps off the page. In 2023, he wasn't even lined up on the edge every snap, and still, he came away with 4.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and 28 total pressures. The year before that, 11 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, and 20 pressures. You're seeing a pattern here. He's not a one-season wonder. He's been consistent, disruptive, and dependable from the moment he stepped onto the field. In total, we're talking about 42 games, 114 total pressures, and nearly a tackle for loss in every game he played. That level of consistency, paired with his physical gifts, puts him in a tier of his own. Now, let's talk about something that's been floating around the internet. A photo of Carter wearing a gas mask. Yeah, that popped up recently and sparked a whole bunch of conversations, with people speculating whether that could impact his draft stock. Look, social media is a wild place. Things get blown out of proportion fast. But the truth is, we don't know if that image changes anything. Some teams might overreact, some might not care at all. But it does raise the question, could this be a factor that causes him to slide in the draft? Or is it just noise? Because, let's be honest, in today's league, front offices are more concerned about what you do on Sundays than what picture shows up on a Thursday night Twitter scroll. What we do know is that Carter's talent is real. The tape backs it up. The numbers back it up. The only thing that could hold him back is health, and maybe perception. But if we circle back to the Eagles for a moment, the idea of watching a player like this slip through their fingers only to land with a division rival, that's brutal. It's not just the loss of a potential franchise-altering defender. It's the emotional gut punch of watching someone who grew up loving your team, dreaming of wear your jersey, go out and suit up for the other side. Imagine being an Eagles fan and seeing Abdul Carter sack your quarterback, then celebrate in a Giants uniform. That's the kind of moment that sticks with a fan base. It hurts more than just losing a game. It feels personal, and you have to think, how does this happen? How does a team with such a deep emotional connection to a player let him go elsewhere? There's obviously the matter of draft order. The Eagles simply aren't picking high enough. But still, when a generational talent with local roots is within reach, there's always hope that the stars align. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, If Carter ends up going third overall to New York, Philly might never get the chance to make that dream come true. That's the cold reality of the draft. No room for sentimentality. Just strategy, timing, and luck. Meanwhile, for the Giants, this could be a defining move. Their defense has already shown flashes of dominance, and Carter would be the perfect piece to elevate them to the next level. Imagine him lining up opposite a seasoned edge rusher or crashing down next to one of the league's premier interior linemen. That's the kind of pressure combo that keeps offensive coordinators up at night. And when you think about the direction this league is heading, quarterbacks getting the ball out fast, offenses built around timing and rhythm, the best counter is a front four that wrecks everything before it can even get started. Carter fits that vision perfectly. He's not just a sack artist. He's a disruptor, a chaos generator. Of course, there's always the unknown. Maybe the Giants surprise everyone and go in a different direction. Maybe they trade down. Maybe they fall in love with another player in the final hours. That's the beauty and the agony of draft season. Nothing is set in stone until the card is turned in. But if the reports are accurate, and if the visits and private meetings mean what we think they do, then it's safe to say New York has Abdul Carter high on their board. From a broader perspective, this scenario highlights just how cutthroat and competitive things are in the NFC East. This is a division where margins are razor thin. One play, one player, one decision. That's all it takes to swing the balance of power. The Eagles have dominated recently with their trench play, but the Giants, Cowboys, and even Washington aren't just standing still. Everyone is trying to load up, find that one difference maker who can tip the scales. Carter could be that guy for New York, and the Eagles know it. What adds to the sting is the sense that the Eagles may have had a shot at Carter in another timeline. If not for a few late season wins or a couple of missed trades, maybe they're drafting higher. Maybe they're the ones bringing him in for interviews, showing him the facility, talking about legacy and homecoming. But instead, it looks like they'll be on the outside looking in, forced to watch one of their own help a rival get stronger. It's the kind of thing that makes fans question everything. Could the front office have done more? Should they trade up? Is it worth giving up future assets to bring a player like this home? Those are tough questions, because moving up into the top 3 isn't easy. It takes a haul, and maybe, just maybe, the Eagles feel like they've got other needs to address. Maybe they've got another prospect in mind. But it's hard to ignore the emotional weight behind Carter's story. He's not just any prospect. He's Philly through and through. At the end of the day, Carter's story is still being written. We don't know where he's going to end up, but the potential is undeniable. You look at his stats, his tape, his impact, there's every reason to believe he's going to be a force in the NFL. Whether it's in Giants blue, somewhere else in the top 10, or, by some miracle, in midnight green, he's going to make plays. He's going to change games. And fans around the league will be watching closely when his name is finally called. Because this isn't just a draft pick. This is a statement. A reminder that in this league, talent wins. And when you find a player who can wreck a game plan, you move heaven and earth to get him on your roster. If the Giants are that team, then the rest of the NFC East, especially the Eagles, better be ready for what's coming. Because Carter isn't just chasing quarterbacks. He's chasing greatness. And he's bringing that Philly fire with him wherever he goes. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a shocking twist that has captured the attention of NFL fans everywhere, Tyreek Hill, one of the league's most electrifying wide receivers, may be considering a move to the Philadelphia Eagles. The rumors swirling around this potential deal have caused a stir, leaving many wondering if the Cheetah could bring his unparalleled speed and playmaking ability to one of the NFC's most dominant teams. For an athlete like Hill, who has dominated the league with his explosive performances, a new chapter in Philadelphia could be the next step in an already illustrious career. Hill's tenure with the Miami Dolphins has been nothing short of remarkable, with the wide receiver finishing the 2023 season with a franchise record 1,799 receiving yards and 13 touchdowns. But after a frustrating end to the season and a rather public display of discontent, Hill has made it clear that he's not satisfied with the Dolphins' current trajectory. His frustrations, paired with his history of success in Kansas City and the growing interest in his services, have sparked speculation about a potential departure. Could the Eagles, with their championship aspirations, be the perfect landing spot? From a team-building perspective, the Eagles have been one of the most well-rounded and aggressive teams in recent years, consistently showing that they are willing to make bold moves to ensure their place at the top. With a dynamic quarterback in Jalen Hurts and a talented receiving core, adding Tyreek Hill to the mix would give them one of the most dangerous offenses in the league. His speed alone could change the way defenses approach Philadelphia, offering an immediate deep threat that could stretch the field in ways that few teams can match. However, while the idea of Hill joining the Eagles is tantalizing, it's not without its complications. Hill's massive contract would require significant financial maneuvering from the Eagles, who are already working to maintain a roster full of high-caliber players. On top of that, the Dolphins would need to be willing to part with their star receiver, something that seems unlikely given Hill's importance to their offensive game plan. Still, with Hill's future uncertain in Miami, it's not out of the question that a trade could be arranged, especially if Hill pushes for a move to a contender. Tyreek Hill's playing style is a nightmare for opposing defenses. Known for his elite speed and acceleration, Hill has the rare ability to turn even the smallest gap into a game-breaking play. Nicknamed Cheetah for good reason, he consistently outruns defenders and stretches the field vertically like few others can. But it's not just his straight-line speed that makes him dangerous. It's the way he combines quick footwork, body control, and elite tracking skills that truly sets him apart. Defenders are often forced into soft coverages, giving Hill room to operate underneath, where he's just as effective with the ball in his hands. One of Hill's greatest strengths is his versatility. While he's a natural deep threat, he also excels in short and intermediate routes, bubble screens, and jet sweeps. Offensive coordinators love scheming around his skill set, knowing they can deploy him anywhere on the field to create mismatches. He's just as capable of taking a slant route 70 yards to the house as he is burning a cornerback on a go route. This unpredictability keeps defenses guessing, and usually guessing wrong. If added to the Eagles' system, Hill could be used in creative ways alongside existing weapons, elevating the offense into truly elite territory. What also separates Hill from other receivers is his mindset. He plays with confidence and swagger, always hungry to prove he's the best on the field. His chemistry with quarterbacks, most notably Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City and Tua Tagovailoa in Miami, has shown how valuable he can be as a go-to target in clutch moments. Hill's ability to adjust to the ball midair, his timing on contested catches, and his relentless drive to score make him one of the most complete receivers in the league, even beyond the flashy stats. Adding Hill's style to Philadelphia would not only boost the team's offensive capabilities, but also bring an added level of intensity and identity to the roster. He brings energy, emotion, and a sense of urgency that can ignite both teammates and fans. In a city known for its passionate sports culture, Tyreek Hill's brand of football could thrive. With the Eagles already possessing a well-rounded attack, the integration of Hill's explosive play style would be a game-changer, and just might be the missing piece for another Super Bowl push. As the offseason progresses and the Eagles continue to position themselves for another run at the Super Bowl, one thing is clear. The Tyreek Hill rumors are far from over. Whether or not the Eagles can make a move for the Cheetah, his potential arrival in Philadelphia would undoubtedly keep fans on the edge of their seats. Only time will tell whether the Eagles can land one of the most electrifying players in the NFL, or if another team will swoop in to make their move first. Stay tuned. The best may be yet to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.